Why did I do that? That hurt. It stings. Hello everyone, Ori here from 𝙽𝙴𝚁𝚄𝙱𝴜 Cinema, and yeah, it's been a minute. Well, certainly not a minute. It's been a whole month since what was it? It's the 1st of June, so start of a new month. So it's just been over a month since I uploaded our last video, which was me reacting to the teaser trailer for Resident Evil, the Zach Cregger one. God, why did I do that? Stings. Ooh. But yeah, finally back. Let me just quickly explain why it's taken a month to make another video, and a couple of announcements that I want to make before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's topic, which you already know by the title and the thumbnail. But where have I been? Why is it taking me so long to make another video, or any of us, either us three? To be honest, I've been caught up with university work, because I'm at university, for people that don't know, and I've been having to submit 2 loads of work, which both have now been submitted, which is great. So now I'm free for now to basically do whatever. It's great that I'm back, because it's felt really weird. I can't believe it's been over a month, just over a month now since the last video. But yeah, that's basically the main reason why it's taken so long to get a new video out. But here I am. I plan to get this out the day that I record this, which is June 1st. But before I get any further in the video, I want to give a couple of announcements, as I just said earlier. First of all, well, there's technically one announcement, but basically, including this video, I've got 2 more coming in the pipeline this week, because it's Monday today as I'm recording. So I don't know when these next 2 videos will be up. Well, one of them I know will be recorded on Thursday afternoon, but the other video, which I want to talk about first, is going to be recorded sporadically throughout the week, and that is going to be my review for the new Amazon Prime video series, Spider-Noir. Obviously, Spider-Noir, you know, the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man from, you know, the Spider-Verse films, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and possibly Beyond the Spider-Verse as well. That remains to be seen until it comes out. But yeah, Nicolas Cage as Spider-Noir has his own Prime Video series out, and obviously, again, because of work, I've not been able to watch it, so I thought, well, let's make a review, and I'll upload it whenever I can, so that, you know, hopefully I can entertain you all. So that's the first video. I mean, obviously you got this video, Spider-Noir, and a Out of the Cinema review featuring me, NerdTube, and a brand new guest, which I will not announce today, but you will find out when it comes out. But yeah, me, NerdTube, and this new guest to come on, we'll be watching Masters of the Universe. Fingers crossed. I think we have officially, basically, we've officially said we're going to do it. Hopefully this decision is solidified. But I can announce those 2 things, Spider-Noir and Masters of the Universe Out of the Cinema review. And then, of course, the video that I'm doing now, which is my review for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, the Tom King. Let me see the other authors as well, because I've got the comic here. So Tom King, I don't want to butcher these names, 𝐾𝕳𝕳 Letterboxd. I can't pronounce the second one in the middle, but I've got the comic book here, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, compact DC, well, sorry, DC compact comics, there you go. I don't know if it's focusing, probably won't. If it is, then cool. If not, then, well, that's what it says. But yeah, obviously, the reason why I'm going to be reviewing this comic today is because, obviously, the upcoming DCU Supergirl film, which I think is a follow-up to, well, should be a follow-up to the Superman film that came out last year, directed by and written by James Gunn. And yeah, I've been looking forward to this Supergirl film since the teaser came out. You know, the teaser with the "Call Me" by Blondie song, obviously featuring Millie Alcock as Kara Jor-El, aka Supergirl. And yeah, this is actually going to be this has actually been my first introduction to Supergirl, because I've not watched any Supergirl material before reading this, and then obviously seen the trailers for this new Supergirl film, because I've not watched any of the previous shows, like this, is it CW show? I've forgotten the actress name, but the one that's on, I think it's on HBO Max. But the main Supergirl show I haven't seen, that's based on Earth, I believe. And there's also the 1984 film, the one that came out after Christopher Reeve's Superman films, or in between those films. I haven't seen that either, and I don't really intend to, because it's not very good, but we'll see. But just thought I'd let you know, first and foremost, that this comic is my first introduction to Supergirl as a character. So yeah, I haven't properly structured this video out, other than obviously, you know, the whole intro with the announcements and stuff, but I'm going to do it. I'm hoping this video will be up to, hopefully at most 20 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we already are 7 minutes in, so I don't know, maybe not 20-25 minutes. So we will see. But I'm going to take a breather, because my voice is already cracking out now. But yeah, let me just think on what I should say. Should have done this before I started recording, but I will be back. I'll be back. And I'll talk about my thoughts on the comic. Right, so Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. First of all, I just want to say I'm not going to go into all the itty bitty details of the comic, because if you've read the comic, you know exactly what's ahead, you know what's in it. But if you haven't read it, well, first of all, I would say go read it, because I do really like this comic. But for some reason you cannot access it, or whatever, or if you just don't care to read it but you still want to hear it anyway, watch. But I will say I will be going into a few spoilers into this comic, so I may ruin the experience for you when the 2026, this upcoming Supergirl adaptation comes out, because again, this upcoming film adaptation is based on this comic book, mostly, I think. But until we watch it, I have no idea what's going to be revealed, or what is actually going to be in it, etc. But from what I've got a sense from the trailers that's come out thus far, there are things definitely in this comic that has been put into the film so far, and there's also things that have been added new. So yeah, just thought I'd let you know. So for people that haven't read it, please go read it if you can, but if you can't, then okay. If you don't care about getting spoiled, then feel free to continue watching. But if you want to read it and you have a chance to, please do it, and then come back and watch, because I don't want to spoil the whole story for you. But if you just want a basic setup, basic premise of what this comic book is, I will talk about it now. Okay, so the comic book sets up, basically there's this pirate assassin named 𝙾of the Yellow Hills, and he basically comes to this rock farm that's owned by this alien family, and one of the alien family members, who is central to this comic, Ruthie, basically her father was killed by 𝙾, because 𝙾 asked them if he could stay on their farm, because he was a part of the Monarch. He was like a secret agent, I think. This is not really mentioned fully in the comic, but that's kind of the sense that I got. He was kind of like an undercover King's agent, and basically at some point he mocks the Monarch, and well, he mocks the Monarch in front of Ruthie's father, and basically Ruthie's father doesn't approve of the joke, and he's actually offended by it, and because he didn't laugh at 𝙾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴 joke, 𝙾 killed him out of just pure, kind of arrogance and ego, I guess. So yeah, so that's basically the setup of the story. So 𝙾 comes to this farm, ends up killing one of the central characters' father, and basically it's a revenge story, essentially. So weirdly enough, when I first started reading it, I wasn't expecting to be not introduced with Supergirl, because Supergirl went on tomorrow. But it starts off with this new character, Ruthie, as I've just mentioned, and we see her motivation basically setting up the story of her basically wanting to kill 𝙾 of the Yellow Hills. And she, well, not her herself, she actually wants to go set out and find someone to basically kill him for her, but she wants to witness his death. But she lacks physical strength, and she's not exactly a swordsman or swordswoman. Don't know if that's even a thing, but yeah, she just doesn't have the capability apparently to kill 𝙾 herself. So she sets out to find someone who can kill 𝙾. And obviously that ends up being Supergirl. I don't think this is really spoilerish, really. I mean, it's basically just the main setup of it. But basically, the sword that 𝙾 used to kill Ruthie's father, basically he leaves that sword wedged in Ruthie's father, and basically Ruthie finds him and takes the sword out, and basically set out to find a warrior, swordsman, whatever, to kill 𝙾 with that sword. She takes the sword because it's basically her payment for whoever decides to kill 𝙾. Basically, because her family's poor, she takes the sword that 𝙾 used to kill her father, and again sets out to hire somebody who can kill 𝙾 by giving the sword as a payment for killing 𝙾. So, first, before Ruthie meets Supergirl, she meets this guy at this bar, and basically he ends up he basically says he's gonna kill 𝙾, but you get a sense that he isn't, because he's kind of like a arrogant, kind of douchebaggy, kind of hunter by the looks of it. We only see him at this one point in this comic, we don't see him ever again. But basically, he's like, ooh, this is a nice sword, and wants to take it for himself. But he says he's going to kill 𝙾, but he doesn't want to take Ruthie with him. So obviously Ruthie's like, what the fuck, like, bitch, I need to come with you so I can witness 𝙾's death. And he's basically like, no, I'm just going to take it. You have my word. I will kill 𝙾. And obviously it's pretty much set up that he won't, and he's just going to take the sword for himself because it looks nice. And basically he ends up slapping Ruthie because she's obviously saying to him, like, obviously, bitch, let me come with you, and he doesn't, so he slaps her. And then we get introduced to Supergirl, who is basically drunk because it's her 21st birthday, and basically, as this warrior, because he's taken the sword that Ruthie bought, and as he's about to leave the building, Supergirl's in the corner right near the door, takes the sword out of his pocket, and is like, hey, bitch, it's my birthday, don't make this a whole scene, just basically leave without the sword, let me give this sword back to this girl, and we won't have a problem, basically, because it's my birthday, my 21st birthday, whatever. It's kind of a funny moment in the comic. And obviously he ain't happy about it. He attempts to kill Supergirl, and obviously she doesn't allow it in the end. And yeah, so basically Supergirl, that's how Supergirl's introduced. Basically she disarms this guy, gives the sword, I think, back to Ruthie. But the thing is, she initially doesn't actually agree to help Ruthie to kill 𝙾, because I guess Supergirl doesn't really have a reason to be involved, because at this point, you know, I mean, she's obviously Supergirl, like, she's not like not bothered, but she's like, she seems like, oh, like, listen, I know you're a sweet girl, whatever, and you seem nice and all, but listen, I don't really take much interest into this journey, but good luck, hope you find someone, etc. Basically that. Until something happens, which you see in the trailer for this upcoming film, for the Supergirl film. Basically, it's set up. It's not really spoilerific, because it's the setup. As Supergirl is going back to her ship, to leave the planet that she's on. Basically, she takes a boat back to her ship, and Ruthie actually follows her as she goes home. And basically, 𝙾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴, who comes to return, he kind of stumbles upon Supergirl in a ship, and basically shoots Kara once, and then shoots Krypto, the dog, which obviously you'll know from the last year's Superman film. And obviously Krypto is basically the only meaningful thing from Krypton that Kara, Supergirl, has left. So Krypto is all that Supergirl has, basically, that's related to Krypton. That's all she has left from Krypton, because Krypton's been destroyed. She grew up on Krypton without Superman, because Superman was obviously at that point taken to Earth and raised by loving parents, adopted parents, obviously Jonathan and Martha Kent. And this version of Kara is this jaded, basically this withered, jaded version of her, unlike some of the other iterations of the character that I'm not too familiar with, but I've seen enough to know. So 𝙾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴 shoots Krypto with a poison arrow, and that's kind of why now Supergirl is like, fuck, you just fucked with my dog, you shot my dog, he's gonna die soon if basically she doesn't find a way to save him. And yeah, she's like, oh, fuck Krypto, like I'll put images up of the comic and you'll see, but basically she's like, fuck Krypto, she's like on the verge of tears, because it's like, fuck, he's like the only thing I have left. And obviously she's pissed, she's like, bitch, you fucked with my dog, do you know who I am? I'm Supergirl. Do you think I'll give a fuck about, I think I actually put it on the Jesus Talks on Instagram. Do you think I'll give a fuck about swords and arrows or something like that? Which is one of my favourite parts of this comic. And yeah, at that point, I was just like, hell yeah, this is great. So, getting out of breath now. Basically, so yeah, 𝙾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴 shoots Krypto, Supergirl ain't happy. 𝙾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴 basically goes off. I think he actually ends up stealing her ship, Supergirl's ship. But obviously Supergirl can fly and everything. But obviously Supergirl is in distraught because of Krypto. I don't know if I should get into it now, but again, I did warn you guys earlier in the video saying that I'm going to talk about spoilers, so go if you haven't read it, if you want to see it, read it, whatever. But basically, this whole journey is revolving around, we seem that obviously Supergirl's come along to not only obviously help Ruthie avenge her father, but to get vengeance on Krypto, and hopefully try and find an antidote, a cure for Krypto, for the poison, whatever. So they set out, they go to these different planets. I won't get into too much detail just because, whatever. But yeah, basically throughout the comic, as you'd expect, basically Supergirl, Kara and Ruthie, their relationship build up and become closer, and that to me is the heart and arguably the best part of the comic. Like, that is my favourite part, is their growing relationship. It's almost like Ruthie, because Ruthie on her planet before she left, she had like 5 or 6 brothers. She had no sisters, so this basically Supergirl, Kara, is kind of like her unrelated sister, like she's teaching. So Kara's basically teaching her all this stuff while they're together on their way to hunt down 𝚾𝙻𝙻, basically teaching her how to wash her hands and be like, oh, you've never washed your hands before, let me show you. There's this whole bit in the comic that shows that, which is really cool. And it's just some of the conversation, some of the things that it's just so adorable, and it's great. So yeah, there's that. That's basically the best part for me, is their relationship growing throughout the comic, throughout the story. Basically, by the end, we find out the twist is that basically Kara, Supergirl, whatever you want to call her, Kara, I'll just say Kara, she basically admits to Ruthie, as as we think that they're about to kill 𝚾𝙻𝙻, because he's tied up to this tree at the very end of the comic, because they finally trapped him down, because he doesn't actually have any superhuman abilities. He's actually just this normal looking dude, which I'll get into in a bit, because I want to talk about the comparisons between the comic and the film and what I've seen and all that stuff. But basically they've tracked down 𝚾𝙻𝙻, they've tied him up to this tree, and they're about to kill him, well, seemingly about to kill him. But just as we're about to potentially see that they're about to kill 𝚾𝙻𝙻, Supergirl admits that Krypto's okay. She actually isn't there to avenge Krypto and try and find a cure, whatever. She's actually there to show Ruthie that revenge doesn't always take the pain away. That basically killing 𝚾𝙻𝙻 won't basically make you feel better that you avenge your father, whatever, which is pretty true. Like, obviously, I mean, I've never had that experience before, but you get the whole thing with films and comics and stuff. That's basically in a lot of other things, like, oh, revenge doesn't help you, make you feel better, whatever. So when that happened, I was like, damn, like, okay. Like, I mean, right, the whole thing with Krypto, that Krypto was actually fine all along. I mean, yeah, obviously he had an arrow through him, but he wasn't poisoned, he wasn't going to die. Basically, Supergirl knew someone, and basically Krypto was being taken care of, basically, after they left, all along. And she basically went with Ruthie to basically teach her that killing 𝚾𝙻𝙻 isn't the answer to making you feel better, to avenge your father, whatever. It's about justice, not vengeance. It's the wrong thing to do to kill somebody, basically. Murder someone, basically. I mean, yeah, because they killed somebody else. So that whole thing I quite liked. Now the ending, also I'm skipping through things because I'm already running out of breath, and again, I said I'm not going to go into every bit of detail, but the ending is kind of where people get a bit confused, apparently this was me when I read it. I was like, I hope I'm not just being really stupid here, but I looked it up, and apparently a lot of other people that read it initially were also confused about it. So there's this confusing part of the comic, which is the ending. Basically, after, like I've just said, the whole thing with Supergirl revealing that she was there to basically teach Ruthie the lesson that revenge isn't the answer. The thing that people were confused about is, at the end, it's seemingly shown that Supergirl actually ends up killing 𝚾𝙻𝙻, but we actually don't see her kill him. There's this frame of her raising the sword and about to kill him, but then it jump cuts 300 years later to where Supergirl, Kara, and Ruthie are living together on this other planet. Is it on this other planet? Is it on her planet? I can't remember now. Yeah, it's her. It's. I think it's Ruthie's house on her rock farm. Yeah, it's her rock farm. I was a completely different planet then. But yeah, basically, 300 years later, Kara and Ruthie are living together on Ruthie's farm, rock farm, and Ruthie's like quite old now because it's 300 years, but Kara isn't, because apparently she ages much slower than a lot of other people, so she almost looks the same age as she was 300 years before throughout most of the comic. So she has a new suit and everything, and basically there's this moment where we find out that 𝙾was actually sent to the Phantom Zone, which for people that have maybe watched the Christopher Reeve Superman films, obviously the Phantom Zone is where all the criminals get sent to this zone, I guess. I'm not too familiar with it, but basically this is where criminals are banished to this place forever, basically, for a significant amount of time, and then they get brought back for basically time to basically earn their freedom, basically. So you have this amount of time, so it's like prison, basically. And yeah, so basically it's made to think that Kara basically killed 𝙾, but because of her psychological deprivation, because again, this is a Supergirl that's not right with it, because again, she grew up with only one thing, and the fact that Krypton was destroyed, she saw it all, she witnessed all of Krypton being destroyed, and she was basically grew up alone, aside from obviously Krypto, and basically at this point, because Kara and Ruthie have been through so much together throughout the comic, which I won't get into now. Basically, to this point, she's just like, fuck, this has been a long journey. I'm really fucking not with it, whatever. I mean, she's probably not thinking about it, but she's just so far away from reality and just so like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to kill this guy. But then Ruthie stops her from doing so, apparently. And yeah, so Supergirl sends 𝙾to the Phantom Zone. 𝙾 gets brought back, and I think Ruthie hits him with a cane, and it's made to think that then she killed 𝙾, I think, but I don't think she actually did. But I don't know, it's a bit of a weird ending. Not 100% with it, but I do like most of this comic, I will say. Yeah, so that's, again, I know I've kind of gone very quick on it and not really said, again, not been going into too much detail just because my voice is just bleh. So yeah, it's again, I mean, I basically told you the important stuff in the comic, but again, if you still want to read the comic, please do, because maybe you'll get more out of it than I did. But again, I still like the comic. Ending is a bit like, I'm still a bit like, what do I really think about it? Do I really need to have a fully solidified opinion about it? Do I love it? Do I hate it? Whatever. Does it really matter? Not necessarily. Like, some people, I think, were, from what I read online, some people were like, I don't know how I feel about it. But overall, I do like it, mainly because of Kara and Ruthie's relationship building up across, throughout the story. And yeah, I just like the visual style as well. I really like the visuals. There you go. I mean, again, I've probably been showing you a bunch of screenshots through editing, because it's just clearer and you probably can't make it out on this camera. But yeah, the last thing I do want to talk about is actually comparing, from seeing the trailers for this new upcoming film, Supergirl, the things that are different. And the main one that weirdly pops into mind is actually 𝙾himself. Now, 𝙾 in the comic, I think I might have briefly touched upon it, but basically, 𝙾 isn't actually a superhuman person. He's not actually physically threatening. He's actually just, I'll put a picture up of 𝙾. A comparison, a split comparison between 𝙾 in the comic and 𝙾 in the upcoming Supergirl film. They're very different. Basically, 𝙾 in the comics, as you can see that I put on the screen, he's got ginger hair, he's got a ginger beard. Again, has no inner superhuman abilities. He's just basically this guy with a sword and a bow and arrow. I mean, not exactly the most threatening villain ever in DC, but in the new film, he does look threatening. He does look ugly, and again, just looks intimidating, looks threatening, looks like he could snap you in half, whatever. But again, Krem in the comics, not so much. Just looks very average, a very average villain. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the main one that I took away from the comic. So that's going to be different. Obviously, I think Ruthie looks different, going to be looking different in the film to the comic, but I'm not going to get into that because, you know, it doesn't really matter as long as, I guess, as long as she acts like Ruthie in the comic. There's I think her name is Eve. I think her name is Eve, the actress, Eve Riley, or Eve. It's Eve something. I can't remember her last name, but I hope she does good. We've not seen too much of her in the trailers. She's just kind of there in the background with Supergirl. But I mean, we see talk about saying, "Oh, that Krem killed my innocent family," and it's like, innocent family? You mean my innocent father? Because again, Krem only killed the father. He didn't actually kill the mother and the other kids, Ruthie's brothers. So it's going to be interesting to see if Krem actually kills her other family members, and if, yeah, I don't know if it's just a bit of a misdirect to people watching the trailer. It's like, oh, he killed a family. Oh wait, no, he only killed her dad. But we'll see. So that was something different as well. In the trailers, at least, from what I've seen, like, planets, not very different. Like, obviously, we have all these different biome looking planets. Like, I don't know. Again, maybe they're hiding a lot of the stuff. I don't know if the beach climax is going to be there, if it's going to be set on one planet. Don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't really know what else to really say. Apart from that, has me reading this comic gotten me a little bit more excited for watching this upcoming film? I would say so, but I'm a little, now that I've actually read the material that the film is now being based on mainly, it's going to be interesting because, again, the first book that I read, where I read the book first then watched the film, was actually just recently for Project Hail Mary. And when I first watched Project Hail Mary, I thought it was okay, the film, but I quite liked the book. Some of the things in the book weren't present in the film. Some of the things that they did differently for the film, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. So I gave it a 3-star, and then rewatched it again in the cinema the second time, gave it a 4-star, so I liked it a bit more. So I kind of eased myself out of the mentality of the book and tried to look at it as a film itself and not worry about the actual book contents. So that's how I hope I don't come in with Supergirl, because I want to enjoy it as it is as a film, but I want to also see what it does with the comic, like what things they add in, what's going to be different and whatever. So I think that's the fun thing about it. The fun thing about having adaptations from books, shows, whatever, and put them into a different thing. So it's like, oh, what are they going to add in here? What are they going to be different? What's all that kind of shit? So that's kind of the exciting thing about watching this film, is like seeing what's different, what are they going to stay true with the comic, and what are they going to leave out. Just remembered, one thing that's being added in this that isn't in the comic is Lobo. Jason Momoa as Lobo. I wasn't sure if Lobo was actually in the comic. Turns out he isn't. Spoiler alert, I guess. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see how he plays out in the film, because, yeah, obviously Supergirl is supposedly was going to be the one to kill Krem. So I don't know how Lobo, because I don't know if they're gonna meet, if Supergirl and Ruthie are actually going to be meeting Lobo at some point, and whether isn't he a villain in the comics or in other material? I don't know. It looks like they are joining up at some point. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. That's kind of one of the major things in this film that I'm very intrigued to see how Lobo ties into this film, because again, he isn't in the comic. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that. But anyway, my voice is about to go, so I'm not going to take too much longer. I feel like I've been recording now for about 30 minutes, which is insane, because again, I wanted to try and record up to 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes at the maximum, but I don't know, I might be wrong, it might be 30 minutes, so we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. Sorry if this review is a bit all over the place, but again, I didn't want to go into too much detail with everything regarding the comic, but overall, I will say I did enjoy the comic, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. It has gotten me more excited to watch the film, and it's going to be interesting to see this, if I'm going to be watching this with NerdTube, or I don't know if Dusty's actually going to watch it, because he's admittedly shown little interest in this film. But whoever I hopefully see this with, whether it's with NerdTube, Dusty, whatever, obviously they're going to be going to watch it without reading the comic. Maybe they see this video, in which case they know some of the stuff already now. But I don't know, let's say I go watch with someone that has no idea what the comic is about. So they're going into it as a film fan, I'm going in as a fan of the comic and has read the comic. So it's going to be interesting. That's always the interesting thing when watching a film with somebody else that doesn't know the original source material. So yeah, it's going to be exciting and interesting to watch this upcoming Supergirl film. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you sticking around. Let me know in the comments below if you have read the comic, and if you liked it or not. Let me know if you're excited for the upcoming Supergirl film. What so far have you seen from the trailers, the advertisement, whatever? What is the things that are exciting you the most? Is it Millie Alcock as Supergirl? Is it the young actress who's playing Ruthie? Is it Jason Momoa as Lobo? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I don't know which video is going to be coming out next. Whether it's going to be the Spider Noir review the review for Spider Noir, or if it's going to be the review for Masters of the Universe. But I know this one's going to be coming out first out of the three that I've announced, that I've been talking about. So yeah, so stay tuned, guys, and I will see you in any of the other two videos, whichever comes up first then. So yeah, I'll see you later on in the week. Bye bye.